I proved my cheating wife was a pawn. I locked her mother behind bars, but my blood ran completely cold when the FBI confirmed that Arthur Sterling III, the billionaire identity I just claimed, actually died in a car crash 10 years ago. Hey Reddit, it's Arthur again. Or at least, that is the name printed on my Black American Express card. If you watched part 2, you know I exposed Eleanor, my ex-wife Jessica's greedy mother. The police dragged her out of that freezing Chicago warehouse in handcuffs. I thought the psychological trap was broken. I thought my $1.2 billion inheritance was finally secure. But as the police sirens faded into the rainy night, I stood alone in my luxury penthouse, staring at the final handwritten note from my grandfather. It warned me to look behind the curtain of Janus Holdings. I locked my penthouse doors, my heart hammering against my ribs. The atmosphere inside the apartment felt suffocating again. Every shadow seemed to be stretching toward me. I opened my laptop to track the $100 million I had secretly hidden in an unlisted offshore account during my years of living like a broke data entry guy. That money was my ultimate survival tool. But when I refreshed the encrypted banking screen, a fatal error popped up. The account balance wasn't $100 million. It was zero. A chilling shiver ran down my spine. Every single dollar had been transferred out just 6 minutes ago, and the authorized signature on the electronic transfer slip wasn't mine. It was signed by Arthur Sterling Sr., my grandfather, the man who has been dead for 5 long years. My breathing became tight. This was a financial gridlock. How could a dead man empty my forbidden account? Suddenly the landline phone in my kitchen buzzed. It was a sharp, piercing sound that cut through the silence like a knife. Nobody has this number except Marcus, my chief of private security. I picked it up with shaking hands, whispering into the receiver. Marcus, did you secure the perimeter? I glanced anxiously at the dark glass windows reflecting the city lights. A voice answered, but it wasn't Marcus. It was a smooth, deep, distorted voice that sounded exactly like the old audio recordings of my grandfather. You played the game well, Arthur, the voice whispered through the static, sending a cold wave of terror through my veins. But you only looked at the pawns. You never looked at the mirror. Check the safe behind the painting. The line went completely dead. Terrified, I ran to the living room. My boots clicked loudly against the marble floor. I ripped a massive oil painting off the wall, exposing the heavy titanium walls safe. My hands were trembling so violently I could barely press my thumb against the biometric scanner. The lock turned green and clicked open. Inside, there were no gold bars. There were no diamond necklaces or property deeds. There was only a single faded manila medical file from a private psychiatric hospital in Switzerland, dated exactly 10 years ago. My eyes scanned the documents under the dim desk lamp. The first page was a DNA profile. The second page was a graphic facial reconstruction report with gruesome post-mortem photographs. According to the official records, the real Arthur Sterling III, the actual grandson of the billionaire, suffered fatal injuries in a tragic accident in Europe a decade ago. He was dead, buried in an unmarked grave. But his grandfather, desperate to keep the family bloodline alive to protect his multi-billion-dollar empire from corporate sharks, did something highly forbidden. He launched a project called the Janus Experiment. He found a young, broke tech student in Chicago who looked exactly like his late grandson. A guy with no living family, no background, and absolutely no future. Me. My entire life, my memories of being a struggling tech worker, my marriage to Jessica, my broke data entry job, it wasn't a test for a real billionaire. It was a carefully engineered psychological experiment. I was hired by a shell company, microchipped with that hidden GPS tracker 4 years ago, and clinically programmed through deep sleep suggestion to believe I was Arthur Sterling III. Even the $100 million I thought I made secretly through smart coding? It was planted there by Janus Holdings to see if a fake substitute would try to steal from the empire. My entire reality shattered into a million pieces. The walls of the penthouse felt like they were collapsing. I stared at my own hands. If I wasn't Arthur Sterling, then who was I? What was my real name? Who was tracking me? Who was speaking on the phone? Right at that exact second, the power in my penthouse cut out. Total darkness. The city lights outside suddenly felt miles away. The secure biometric locks on my heavy doors clicked from green to red. Locked from the outside. I was trapped inside my own luxury cage. Then I heard it. The heavy, rhythmic thud of footsteps walking slowly down my private hallway. The unmistakable sound of custom leather shoes. The bedroom door creaked open. A tall figure stepped into the pale moonlight filtering through the window. I expected a hitman. I expected Eleanor's associates looking for revenge. But as the figure stepped closer, my body went completely numb. It was Marcus, my trusted security chief. But he wasn't wearing his tactical body armor or carrying his service weapon. He was wearing a flawless, expensive Italian suit. In his hand, he held a sleek black master control device displaying the logo of Janus Holdings. "You were a perfect actor," Marcus said, a dark, chilling smile appearing on his face. His voice was completely devoid of its usual professional warmth. "The old man wanted a perfect substitute, and you passed every single test. You even defeated Jessica and Eleanor. But the 5 years are up today. The real shareholders of Janus Holdings want their empire back." I backed away against the massive glass window, looking down 30 stories at the cold streets below. "You engineered everything," I gasped, my voice tasting like ash. "The tracker, the affair, the warehouse. Eleanor?" "Of course," Marcus whispered, raising a small silver device that looked like a remote detonator. Eleanor thought she was smart, but she was just another distraction. And now, the fake Arthur Sterling III will tragically jump from this penthouse due to the immense mental pressure of his new wealth. A perfect ending to a beautiful story. He pressed the button. An agonizing, sharp, burning pain flared in the back of my neck, right where the microchip had been stitched into my body years ago. My vision instantly blurred. I fell to my knees, gasping for air, clutching my throat. My heart felt like it was going to burst. I looked up at the man who had controlled my movements for 4 years. But as Marcus walked over to push my weak, paralyzed body toward the balcony door, my phone in my pocket buzzed with a massive, automated global notification. The screen flashed bright blue. Live stream successful. 50 million viewers connected. Before entering the penthouse tonight, knowing the risks, I had linked my private burner phone network directly to an encrypted public server. Every word Marcus just said, the entire confession of Janus Holdings, and the truth about my identity was being broadcasted live to the entire world. The faint, distant wail of FBI sirens was already turning back toward my building. Marcus froze. The color instantly drained from his face as he realized his multi-billion-dollar execution of greed had just been exposed to the entire planet. His master control device began flashing red with frantic alerts from his corporate bosses. In that 1 second of his panic, the burning pain in my neck subsided just enough. I grabbed a heavy glass award from the desk and swung it with all the strength I had left. It hit his wrist with a loud crack. He dropped the detonator. I didn't look back. I dashed through the emergency fire exit, tumbling down the concrete stairs into the freezing rain of the Chicago night. I managed to escape that night, but my life is a living nightmare. I'm currently typing this from a hidden, damp basement somewhere on the outskirts of the country. I have no name. I have no legal identity. My face belongs to a dead billionaire, and a multi-billion-dollar shadow corporate empire is hunting me across the United States. They think they can erase me like a glitch in their computer system, but they made one massive mistake. Before I ran out of that penthouse, I grabbed the encrypted hard drive containing the master server files of Janus Holdings. For the past 48 hours, I have been cracking the encryption codes. What I'm finding inside is making my blood run colder than any tracking device ever could. Janus Holdings isn't just a private equity firm. They own politicians, they control banks, and they have successfully replaced 3 other dead billionaires with engineered clones like me. They think the game is over because I'm on the run. But the real war has just begun. Tonight, the final decryption sequence completes. I will have access to the global banking details, the offshore accounts, and the true identities of every elite shareholder who signed my execution order. But I need your help to survive this next move. The stakes are too high, and I don't know who to trust anymore. Do you think I should leak the real names of these global billionaires to the public immediately? Or should I use their own untraceable money to systematically destroy Janus Holdings from the shadows piece by piece? Drop your theories, your strategies, and your advice in the comments right now. I am reading everything from an encrypted VPN. If you want to support a man with no identity fighting against the real elites, smash that like button, follow this page immediately for urgent life-saving updates, and share this video everywhere before their corporate lawyers take it down. The best tool in woodworking is patience, for it shapes more than just wood.